Chapter 14, Living Dead. Are we a dictatorship or a brotherhood? What have we become? Giovanni John Boxer Musketeer. Neither the Winnipeg tensions nor about the fallout from the Sean Dowse murder ruined Boxer Musketeer's holidays. He was clearly in a cheerful mood on Christmas morning 2005 as he sent out a mass email greeting to others in the Bandido world from himself, the club, Nina, and baby Angelina. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to the Bandido Nation and to the No Surrender crew who loves you, baby, from Boxer, PBOL, Nina, and Angelina. Love, loyalty, respect. It just doesn't get any better. A hang-around Bandido from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, named Habits, sent the No Surrender crew a greeting card from halfway around the world, making both the holiday and the crew's 5th anniversary. We wish all the brothers and families a happy and Merry Christmas and a glorious and joyful year 2006. Have a safe and happy holiday season with much love, loyalty, and respect. However Festive the No Surrender crew felt, there was no way of putting a bright face on the email Boxer Musketeer received from Texas on December 28th. It was from Bill Sartell, the Bandidos World Secretarial, and it announced bluntly that Boxer World has just collapsed. It was from Bill Sartell, the Bandidos World Secretario, and it announced bluntly that Boxer's World had just collapsed. The mother chapter was disowning its Toronto brothers. For the past year or more, we, BMC USA, have attempted to make connections with Canada. Up till now, there has been no visit from the proper person. It has been decided that due to lack of participation, Canada's charter is being pulled, effectively immediately. Return all Bandido patches and property. In approximately 30 days, we will make notification to all that we no longer have a chapter in Canada, and that any person wearing our patch in Canada is not sanctioned. Bill, 1%er. Chopper Repulso was in the habit of sharing club business with his fiancée, Carrie Caldwell, a Harley-riding occupational health nurse at the Ford plant in St. Thomas. It was against club rules to do so, but he trusted her and valued both her heart and mind. That meant she heard of a conversation in December in which Chopper asked Wiener Kellerstein how he should deal with the Americans. What am I supposed to do? We're breaking the rules. Chopper had no way of knowing he was asking the wrong person for advice. Faced with the apparently immovable force of Chopper, Kellerstein's co-conspirator, Taz Sandham, had decided to do an end run around the Torontonians and complain directly to the Bandidos mother chapter in Texas that the Winnipeggers were being overcharged for dues and patch money. He was toying with the forces that could explode on him. It was one thing to try to manipulate the No Surrender crew, and quite another to try to pull strings at headquarters of the world's second largest biker empire. The Americans were aghast. They were supposed to be consulted about the expansion, and this was the first time anyone ever told them about the Manitoba chapter of the Bandidos existed. They weren't interested in refereeing a squabble between one chapter they were growing tired of and another that didn't even exist as far as they were concerned. For the senior officials who ran the Bandido Nation, the best option was to shut down Canada altogether. Somehow things would get worse for Boxer's crew. Sandham would later tell police that Kellerstein heard a rumor around this time that members of the No Surrender crew were talking about trying to patch over en masse to the Outlaws, leaving him behind. If this were true, and Taz Sandham was never a man to trust wholeheartedly, this represented not only abandonment, but also death of a sort to Kellerstein. He had already been rejected by the Outlaws once. Why would they want him back, especially with Ronway Atkinson now wearing an Outlaws patch? Certainly, Ronway couldn't be expected to welcome him after Wiener had stuffed a pistol in his mouth while others broke his ribs. There was an even slimmer chance of Wiener Kellerstein getting into the Hells Angels. He was a non-entity in their world that he was no longer considered worth murdering. The source of the rumor about the No Surrender crew patching over to the Outlaws was never clear, although it obviously benefited Tad Sandham the most. He also had Wiener's ear. For all the blundering, it seemed Taz had finally done something truly Machiavellian by whispering rumors to manipulate the madman Kellerstein. Alone, nutty, and hard up for money, 56-year-old Wiener Kellerstein teetered on the brink of being exiled to the biker equivalent of the land of the living dead. His backwoods crazy Nazi act had apparently run its course, and his dream of becoming the Bandidos' de facto Canadian president would never be realized if the No Surrender crew dissolved. Nor was there much room for him to start his own club, as there had been back in the 1980s before the Hells Angels and the Bandidos moved into Ontario, gobbling up or squeezing out most of the independent gangs. In Wiener Kellerstein's fevered mind, he was the victim of a deadly betrayal. He wouldn't go down alone. Now was the time to fight back. As Tad Sandham later recalled, Wayne Kellerstein just blew up, like he flipped out and he phoned me at home, just freaking out and swearing. Kellerstein was particularly furious with Boxer Musketeer, the man he had considered his sidekick in the Annihilators, the Loners, and the early stages of the Bandidos. Now, Kellerstein fumed, Musketeer was talking of leaving him behind after all he had done to bring him into the world of the 1%er bikers. Sartell's email stirred up a hornet's nest of activity on the internet. It had been one thing to play fast and loose with the Bandidos' bylaws and protocols, and quite another to have to account for it to the mother chapter. Suddenly, what was at stake was no longer the grand dream of expansion. The Canadian Bandidos were pleading just to keep their patches. On Wednesday, January 4, 2006, after stewing for a week about the American edict, Bam Bam Salerno sent Sartell an email reply under the subject heading, My Life. Clearly, he had been thinking about the December 28th message long and hard. I'm sitting here feeling confused, dejected, emotionally drained. I can't remember feeling as badly unless I count the times I was informed that you, Brother Tao Tao, at the time, Brother Crazy Horse Joey was assassinated. You see, Bill, I've been with this great nation since its inception in Ontario. At that time, there were 7 of us here in Ontario. We were surrounded by no less than 6 HA chapters within a 50-mile radius. As you know, they tried everything in their power to shut us down. They've been decimated with betrayal, defection to other clubs, law enforcement, but we stood tall and we wear our colors proud. Bill, being a Bandito in good standing is my world. Quite frankly, I resent I have to go through this. I have always done the nation proud. A few hours later, Sartell replied in an email to Salerno. He wasn't enjoying the process of kicking out the men who considered themselves his brothers, and he appeared to be softening just a little. That said, he didn't have the power to reverse things. That was in the hands of the El Presidente, Jeff Pike. Sartell wrote that the Americans felt let down that Boxer hadn't made a trip south or notified them that he had troubles crossing the border. I will pass this on to the proper people. It's not my decision alone. I do not know at this point what can be done to reverse the decision made as far as Boxer coming down, or at least trying. I know about this because I am who asked him to come. He apparently had problems. We waited and waited because that is the proper way that it should have been handled. Anyway, I will see if someone can contact you. Good luck, Bill, 1%er. What Bam Bam seems not to have considered is that one of the best ways to clear your name is to blame someone else for whatever was gone wrong. And that is exactly what Taz Sandham had in mind as he had made his case to Texas. The same day that Salerno was exchanging emails with Sartell, Sandham went behind the backs of the Toronto chapter leadership again, making his own private plea to keep his membership. Now was the time to clearly separate himself and his ally Kellerstein from Boxer Musketeer and the rest of the No Surrender crew. Probationary Bandito Taz here from the Manitoba, Canada, he emailed the Texans, I am just hearing about a problem with Toronto. I hope that this does not reflect on all of us, as we have worked very hard here for almost a year and a half. The day I became part of this family was a great honor for me and my crew. I hope we can work together to remedy this situation. Also, Bandito Wayne W. would like someone to call him. He's in London, Ontario. After distancing himself from his president, Boxer, and driving a wedge between his co-conspirator Kellerstein and his own club, Sandham signed off with much loyalty, love, and respect. Boxer was also at his computer, pleading for the survival of the No Surrender crew in an email to Kennard Hawaiian Ken, post to the Whatcom County Bandidos in Washington State, who had founded the Bandidos Chapter in Oahu, Hawaii. Boxer considered Hawaiian Ken a friend and someone he could trust. Boxer began, My brother Ken, you will always be my brother. then quickly became emotional, saying, "There is no reason to take something the Canadian brothers value more than their own lives. When a brother is down, you reach out your hand to help him. You help him up, not kick them. I feel like a knife has been driven in my heart. Would you believe it? My own brother has done what my enemies could never do without my death." He ended the message with, "Love, loyalty, respect, Bandido Boxer. Cut 1, we all bleed." That same day, Boxer finally replied to the Texans. He and Chopper Raposo felt that Bam Bam Salerno's January 4th email to the Americans had been too soft. The Canadian Bandidos weren't about to grovel. Boxer's tone was defiant. If he had to go out at all, he would go out like a man. "My name is Bandido Boxer. I speak for the No Surrender crew, Canada Bandidos. My phone number is reverse charges. I will pay for it. My enemy have treated all of us with respect. You're a piece of work." Sartell got back to Boxer the same day, and his tone was unapologetic. "I find it interesting that it took my email for you to decide to contact someone here in my chapter. And yes, I am a piece of work and proud of who I am." Someone cleaned up Boxer's grammar and spelling as he quickly emailed back to Sartell. He was still unrepentant, but no longer hostile. "I'm glad you responded to my email, so the communication problem has been taken care of. I'm also proud of who I am, and there is no doubt in my mind. The emails have never stopped, and we have tried endlessly to contact you. If there is anything you need to know, you can reach me anytime. Our club is our life.